Hi, I'm Zhongnan. I'm here at Nanluo Guxiang in Beijing with a secret mission that I will tell you later. Welcome to the third episode of Youth Power. The theme of this episode is Gifts of Mystery for Neighborly Friends. In June, President Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin jointly announced the China-Russian Treaty of Good Neighborliness and Friendly Cooperation would be extended. The relationship between China and Russia seems to be a good role model for ties between countries as we tackle the world's problems together. Beyond the close collaborations at diplomatic and political level, cultural exchanges are also extremely important, and that's what we are here for. I'm looking forward to seeing young Chinese and Russians communicate with each other face to face, embrace the cultures, and break stereotypes. And we will brought together international students from home and abroad that are interested in cultural exchanges, and Russian students in China and Chinese overseas students in Russia to talk about this. It will be super interesting for us to find out what these young people see each other's countries and cultures, and I think we'll learn a lot witnessing these exchanges. At the very beginning, I mentioned the secret mission, and that is to select the gifts that might represent China and young Chinese people. And I believe that you will also prepare the same gifts for us to get to know more about Russia's as well. So without further ado, let's go shopping. And now I have already prepared 3 mystery gifts in this box. And within several days, it will travel 6,000 kilometers and reach our Russian friends. See you then.
Our packages have arrived! Let's go.
Okay, now we have already received the mystery boxes from Russia, and I believe that our boxes and packages have already arrived theirs. Now let's connect with our Russian friends.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Hi guys.
Hi.
What's up?
So let's introduce ourselves first. I am Wang Zhongnan.
Hello, my name is Nick.
Hi, my name is Kate. I come from Belarus.
Hello everyone, my name is Qu Jiaxin.
Hello everyone. My name is Yuan Dan.
My name is Amina Pushkina.
Hello dear friends, my name is Elisa Topshi.
Hi, I'm Kirill Danilenko. Hello everyone, my name is Mao Rendong.
Hello guys, my name is Fan Tianyang.
Our first mystery box.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh my god, this is my favorite thing about Russia. Oh my
What
god.
is it?
It's chocolate.
It's so good, guys. You can't believe how good it is. For example, my dad eats 1 bit of dark chocolate per day because he thinks it's really good for his brain and for his heart.
It's good for everything.
It's good for everything. It's like
Just like ginger in China, like it's good
hot
for
water
everything.
in China.
Hot water. Yes, it is it.
a lot of young ladies want to lose weight and want to become fitter and slimmer, so they would eat chocolate, eat dark chocolate, and
Why? You should avoid chocolate.
yes, but it has little sugar in it. So when you eat a little bit of this chocolate, you kind of feel that you're already full, so you're not hungry.
It's even hardcore for Russians.
Yeah, a lot of men love it
It is dark in the color.
It's like eating coal bar.
because the taste is pretty special and very strong, I think.
It doesn't take
It's like eating cacao powder or something.
Yeah.
I believe that eating chocolate makes you happy because it's sweet and it makes you smile when you eat it.
Yeah.
Like bitter chocolate is like, it kind of makes you cry sometimes, I think.
Yes.
You feel sad, right?
It's like life. It's hard, but it's sweet.
Exactly.
You still have to keep with it, keep up with the life.
Yes.
And with bitter chocolate.
Like you told me that you feel like you have been heavier than before, but you care about it so much. You worry about it so much.
Just a little, because if you have to be on TV, just like us now. So in the schooling, we have to be slim and to be beautiful. You're right.
No, I think you are like beautiful, but you don't have to worry too much.
Yes.
Do you think she is not slim? No, I don't think slim is that a standard.
Exactly, the beauty standards are always changing nowadays, and we live in the times when it's time to care about your health, both physical and mental, rather than your outlooks.
What's the situation in Russia, I think?
I think we still
standard
care
beauty
about the outlook.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've heard the saying in Russia that the man should be slightly better looking than a monkey. Is that
Yeah, there's a stereotype in Russia, like the men are not that handsome, only the women are beautiful.
You're handsome, you're so handsome.
I'm an exception.
About the women in Russia, do you think they have a strict beauty standard that you should keep for it?
Well, when we were growing up, I kind of feel that we had a lot of pressure, a little bit of pressure about it, that we always have to look great, care about our outlooks, and care about how we look. However, right now, as I'm being young and as I entered university, I realized that there are a lot of young ladies like me who actually want different things, and they don't care that much about their bodies. They think that having a beautiful body and a beautiful face is just a surface. You should have something inside of you, you know? You should have a rich soul, and you should have a knowledge, rather than just having a beautiful face and looking like a Barbie doll.
Yes. And what's the situation in China? I mean,
I believe nowadays in my university, because I'm from Beijing Foreign Studies University, and there are many girls there, and I believe a lot of girls, they do makeups, but they prefer to spend more time reading books and like doing sports and like going to like debate competitions or something, and try to make themselves like show like they have an interesting spirit, and they have a really knowledgeable mind, and that's better than that they're good looking.
exactly. You
Yeah.
have more time to care about your inner side.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh my god, what's that? Well, I know that. Strange. Why do we need this? And, okay, what's this?
Red dates from China. It's really sweet with some hot water to drink. A little here and one more to go. These berries. Never chew berries. These berries. Never chew berries.
One more.
It's clumsy. That's science capitalism.
Okay, now let's imagine we're in the bar and we're shaking. Oh my god! Open it, please.
And you usually drink this with desserts or with some sweets. Yeah, of course.
Is it a healthy
And Chinese young people think this is very healthy food. And you don't add any sugar? No, it's sweet enough. I see.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's not sweet enough for me.
No, I see. That's a breakfast.
Maybe
Maybe we can add some water from here. Chin chin.
Smells great.
Oh, that's tasty.
I would say it's sour sweet. Not too
It's-
sweet.
Well, it's
Because of the berries, probably.
In Russia, we have something like it.
No, we only drink tea.
Chai.
Yeah, you call it chai.
yeah, but we can add to tea some maybe raspberry,
Lemon,
or sometimes oranges.
sometimes milk, but that's very rare. Rather
I
than
remember there's one drink called Ivan Chai.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
something like this, but it's more like a herbal tea, you know.
Yes, thermos is our first gift for you. Nowadays in China, not only old generations are using thermos to drink hot water, but they are also young Chinese people's favorite. If you take a look at the Tokyo Olympic, you must notice that many Chinese athletes, including lots of the medalists, are holding thermos in hand. A lot of netizens joked that thermos is a mystery force to help us win. And I know for sure that in Russia, it must be so cold in winter, and maybe also cold in summer. So, take our thermos and keep warm. Now let's take a look at it.
Let's open it. Wow.
It's an iPad. So they say that they have collected a lot of videos, heated discussed videos about China from Russia. Let's take a look. This is a video about... Cannot understand. I know that panda should be a symbol of China because it's a national treasure.
Yeah, and this is, I think, the great symbol of China and image of China outside this country, which is basically a visit card of it. Like it's 名片, right?
If panda is a symbol of China, the symbol of the relationship between China and Russia, say panda bear and polar bear, or panda bear or brown bear, I don't know how to say it. But
Brown bear, yeah.
Brown bear.
I have this picture. I've seen this picture before on like Russian social media. It's like two bear, one black bear and one white bear, and they do this together and they became a panda.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah,
That's
that's a really
adorable.
cute comic.
Let's take a look at the next video.
Oh,
Yes.
It's a bridge.
Yeah.
What does he say?
It's the bridge connects China and Russia.
it's over 1 kilometer long,
Yeah.
1 kilometer
I
long
know.
bridge connecting China and Russia border.
Officially, it's gonna start
It's already
in 2020,
used.
Yeah.
Starting from 2020, basically in Heilongjiang province of
Yes,
China
it's Suifenghe and Blagoveshchensk.
and Blagoveshchensk, you know, the border, the
Yeah.
closest to the border city in Russia, Blagoveshchensk. And Suifenghe.
Yes.
This is going, it says that it's going to help to tourism and also better for economic development of the two countries.
I think we have a lot of an infrastructure cooperation between Russia and China.
Yeah. This year they signed a nuclear cooperation. They built a nuclear station together, I think.
Wow, really? So this is you mean government?
China and Russia, yes.
Oh, okay. It's like a government level? Or?
Yes, yes.
And there are always a lot of projects and companies opened by both Chinese and Russian people. So it's also, you know, it's not just those big level and high level of government or big business. It's also between the people, which is also very important.
I know that Russia is a member of the Belt and Road Initiative, and I know that you are a member of Belt and Road Initiative Association in Tsinghua University.
Yes.
And what role do you play there? And
Well, I study international relations at Tsinghua University, so it's kind of my major focus. It's on the whole like Chinese diplomacy, including like Belt and Road initiatives, like Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and well, I focus on Sino-Russian friendship and cooperation. So, and Russia plays a key role in the One Belt and Road initiative, and we support China and the world to build this initiative.
what do you guys know about the BRI, the Belt and Road Initiative?
I always believe that the younger generation will be at the front of the communication in the future. So, in order to like bound the two countries, it is important to let the younger generation to know about each other and to give them this platform to communicate with each other and know more about each other's culture. I believe this cooperation does not only lie on economic and political like levels. They also have to move on to like cultural levels.
Now let's take a look at the picture. It's so it's a account. It's for studying Chinese. What is this?
Vampire, Sun, and
Superman,
Superman, Kryptonite,
Kryptonite,
teacher,
老师 And your pronunciation. Right, because a lot of foreigners have problems with tones, and Chinese pronunciation is one of the hardest bits of learning Chinese, right?
Well,
Is there tones?
I should have asked you.
Master.
Chinese master.
So you have come here like for 16.
this is the 16th year.
That's why you speak perfect Chinese.
Yeah,
Yes, that's
that's
the
surprising.
secret.
And at the beginning, very beginning, what is the most difficult things?
I don't
Chinese.
remember. I just couldn't speak it at all. But somehow one day I just spoke it.
One day.
Yes, just one day I suddenly started speaking Chinese.
Does Chinese become like a popular like learning course in Russia?
And also the very good funny fact is, you know, Gaokao in China, you can take English, probably English. In Russia, starting from last year.
2018 or 19, they put Chinese as like one of the choices for Gaokao in Russia.
So they can choose to have a Chinese.
Yes, there are students who study Chinese as their first foreign language in primary school, middle school, and high school.
Yes, and the other thing is President Xi has an honorary degree in Russian university, and Putin has an honorary degree in Tsinghua University. So that's a fun fact.
Fun fact. I mean, next videos are all about a Chinese report or Chinese media report in Russia.
天气是越来越冷了，在俄罗斯东西伯利亚的奥伊米亚康小镇，气温已经降到了-51°C，小学生们仍然在坚持上学。天还没亮，他们就冒着严寒出门赶公交上课。按照规定，气温低于-52°C的时候呢，当地的学校才会给10岁以下的孩子注意。
I know the story.
奥伊米亚康是世界
It's from my hometown.
人类
It's not. It's the same rules we have.
Is it true?
Yes, like I'm from Siberia as well, so sometimes the weather is super cold. We have like -50 or -60s even sometimes. I've personally been to -38 or something like that,
How does
and
it feel?
it was kind of very weird feeling. It was feeling like I'm starting losing the sense on my face, and yeah. So we have this rule that when the temperature's like lower than 52 degrees, then our schools are all stopped and people don't go to work. But if it's like -51, it doesn't count, so you still have to go to school and go to work.
Okay, the next video is about
公司的客机因风雪及严寒天气，因刹车结冰而无法启动，全机74名乘客和7名机组人员需要下机，冒着零下52度的严寒，合力将重达30吨的飞机推进滑行跑道，飞机最终顺利抵达目的
It
地。
seems so interesting that this video just adds another stereotype, or it's the truth. Is it a myth or truth?
I know this topic is really popular in China.
Oh yeah.
That like Russian airlines take off no matter what circumstances. That like there's a story that like there was a typhoon in Shanghai, and like all the other like flights were cancelled. Only Russian landed and took off right away.
Yeah.
But it's true, yeah. Like a lot of Russian like pilots, they used to be like from the military, and they were from the Air Force, and they moved to like civilian flights. And yes, they're really skilled and they really know how to do their work. So Russian pilots are really popular in the world. Like a lot of companies like to invite Russian pilots because they're like from military and they're really skilled.
We have those like great pilots in China too. So for example, you know that the pilots from Chengdu, the front glass of the plane got crushed and the entire person, like the vice pilot, the entire person got thrown out of the window. And it was like a really dangerous situation, but he managed to like landed the plane safely, even though he was in a like really dangerous situation. There's lack of oxygen and there is this extreme weather. So I believe both Russia and China have very skilled or very well-trained pilots, because they have to guarantee that the passenger's life is at the first place. So you have to guarantee all the safety of the people on the plane. So I think this is something we have in common. changes between our two countries.
I want to translate 战斗民族 into English. I don't know warrior nations or military superior nations. Just so I have to translate. I put it to the translator, and it says 战斗民族 translates into Russians. So like it's so stereotypical thing.
Yeah.
But
I actually heard it like only in China.
really,
Yeah, this is only in China.
Yes. Like I never heard it
a
before
lot
in
of
other
Chinese-
countries.
Yeah, I think this is true. A lot of Chinese people admire Russian character, Russian power, and Russian
Yeah,
mentality. But however, some of the countries might fear it.
because we share the same memories of the Second World War, or share the same memory of like we two countries as an alliance.
Like every year, China and Russia have military cooperation drills, and this year just right now it's happening. And the Russian Minister of Defense also came to China to witness this drill, like cooperated drill. Our cooperation is not only like between government, like economic cooperation, but also the military one.
Oh, I want to see. And
Open it.
wow.
Is it the latest model?
Maybe.
You just know.
Sometimes, well, it's not like a bath because when you go to, you know, a Russian banya and it's very, very hot there, like plus 80 maybe, and or plus 90, and after that you can go to the snow or maybe
To cool yourself.
yeah, to cool
It
yourself.
feels like you're born again.
It feels like heaven. And then you just
Yes, but not for too long, you know. Some couple of seconds just to feel refreshed.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
like
back.
5 minutes.
No, it's crazy. Yes, to cry on the street. Like, oh my God, it's so cool, and then go.
So I would be shrieking.
I will be trying. I will be trying.
Well, try it.
That'll do.
Okay.
So maybe we can open the next one, and I can try
Oh,
this. Have you tried it?
Wait a moment.
When we know each other, we're quite friendly and warm. Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah, I think that's the same stereotype with fighting, because I think that Russian people are so funny and we always are so active maybe.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can say we're quite generous too. Because, we have a lot of, you know, land, resources, but we are always open to share with anybody just
Right.
who is in
And there are all those traditions and customs of giving gifts and some presents, and not only for holidays.
Yeah, like the bread and salt.
Yeah,
When some guests come to, I don't know, to a home of somebody, we always give the best pieces of food to the guests. So I think we're really open and friendly.
Yeah, I think Russian man is really gentle. It's called, in Chinese, it's called boyfriend power. It's really good for girlfriend. Take care of them and give them some gifts.
Oh, I see. Well, that's something that could be called similar to our custom of hospitality and giving gifts. We also like to treat each other with respect.
Yeah.
Or at least we try to.
We, Generation Z, as digital natives, highly dependent on social media. Well, internet and social media are an important way for us to see the world and get to know about the people from other countries. But I know for sure that what we see might not be true.
Social media is one of the most important contributions of modern technology. Today, almost every person has a virtual social life that is almost as vibrant, if not more, than their real social lives. The users post pictures, leave comments, and join chats to become part of a vast internet community, to feel themselves immersed in a vivid society of people. Thus, they get new information on multiple hot topics which they are interested in, as well as get a chance to discuss them and share their opinions. Nevertheless, it can also be a negative effect, as it can urge people to become dependent on posting anything occurring in their own lives. That is why it is important not to forget about your real-life experience and emotions in favor of virtual ones.
Okay, now it's time for our next gift from Russia.
Wow.
Notebook?
Probably the best gift from Russia that you can get is Russian books, Russian literature. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so in Russia, like primary schools or middle schools, they usually have trips like with their classes on weekends to go to museums or galleries to check out the like ancient poets or like painters, their masterpieces. And it's really common to see in Russia. And personally, I have painted oil paintings for 5 or 6 years, and I have a lot of works as well. And I try to paint Chinese paintings as well, but it's really different from Russian one.
I am a student that have learned Chinese calligraphy for 10 years. So you have learned Chinese calligraphy or
Yes.
just Chinese painting?
Painting and calligraphy.
Oh, you said it's different from, how different is it?
Because like Chinese paintings use just ink, and you have to be like...
Deal with the relationship between white and black.
Yes, and it's really hard to manage. But in Russia, it's usually just oil paintings. You paint with oil and different colors. And you have to have good understanding of different colors and shadow. But the Chinese one is really different. It's really hard for me to adapt it.
Colors, just as you mentioned, to be romantic and also realistic as well.
I think like Chinese paintings, they're like capturing the emotion like inside the artist. They're trying to explain something through their paintings, so they're not exactly the same as the things that exist. But however, like Russian paintings, they're like more like they are drawing the things, and they use color to express their emotion, not the ink or the.
It's important for us to read classical works nowadays.
Of
I mean,
course.
because times are now like divided into pieces. But people don't really have that much time and attention to read classical works.
Of course. Classic is never out of trend. It's,
Exactly.
It's something about your own nation and the people and the culture, so you have to know about it.
And I think this is as important as it has never been before for young people to get back to your roots now and to get to know about your culture, to know who you are.
I think we should read classics, of course, because we can use these simple ways to communicate with these greatest people. It's not an option, it's a necessity, I think. Yeah.
Totally agree with you.
Agreed.
So I think there's a reason why classics are classics. When you're reading this kind of classic literatures, it gives you some kind of inner peace that makes you feel that you're connecting with that time, and you're connecting with history, and you're connecting with the previous the saint's mind.
Yes, exactly. I agree with you all. It's not only about the roots, it's not only about communicate with the great minds. I think it's more things about communicate with the times. I mean, communicate with our peers. Like for example, if you don't know Lu Xun, you don't know about Lu Xun, and I said something about like in our backyards we have a date tree, two date trees. One is a date tree, another is date tree. Things. Do you know about the works?
Yes, I've read his works.
Know that we have shared the same memories of our history, of our literatures, and I think that's important for a lot of young people, whether in Russia, Belarus, or in China. I mean, it's very important for us to grow.
A silk scarf? A silk scarf? Yeah.
Is it a man?
It's like silk. It's a
No, it's a man here.
touch it. And the painting.
That's Chinese man.
Yeah, have a look.
And there are two Chinese men.
Not only two.
Okay.
There's
Chinese men.
some more.
They were Chinese men.
There is a
I think it is a Chinese book.
Oh, it's almost like a painting. You
Yeah.
see?
Yeah, it looks like Russian paintings.
Rather than Russian.
Been around for
You can
centuries.
try it on. And I want to see how it looks.
Should I?
Yes, you should.
Wow, scarves are not my thing. How do I wear it?
Well, you're not a Superman.
And so how do you wear them? Oh, with your head? No.
That's fine.
It looks so pretty with white color.
Yeah, the contrast. That's attractive. My arms really like this. Do you have many scarves? Yeah. I like it actually.
I have many costumes. Like my mother has.
Yeah.
I never even wear caps when it comes to winter.
Even when it's minus 27.
Yeah.
Speaking of silk, have you ever heard about the ancient Silk Road that originated from Han Dynasty? That road was used to transport silk produced in China abroad, and then it turned into a comprehensive trade route.
Behind each piece of porcelain and inch of silk, there was a desire to reach out to the unknown world and establish peace. Behind each souvenir today, there is a want of friendship and understanding. And behind each of us, there should be a longing to welcome our neighbor and extend an olive branch.
The Belt and Road Initiative was launched 8 years ago to mobilize more resources, strengthen connectivity, and help more countries and regions in sharing economic globalization and prosperity.
So the Belt and Road, I know this. I've studied in my university a couple of things about it. So I can say that apart from China and Russia, obviously, there are Mongolia, which is in between. I also know Cambodia, Thailand, Philippines, and so on. Yeah, Turkey and other countries in the Arabian Peninsula, like the United Arab Emirates. Well, almost every country on the Arab Peninsula, and also some countries in Africa, like Nigeria, and I might be wrong, Algeria maybe. It's a pretty included country. So that's nearly all I know.
Wow. That's the list, actually.
Yeah, it's more than 5.
Yeah, well, naturally.
I like this dish so much. It's so tasty. Thank you very much for letting me try this, and I hope that we will come to China soon and we'll drink it every day because it's so healthy and so tasty.
I think we should say thanks to our friends over there.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for this experience. That was so great.
It's been a pleasure, actually. Oh, that's great Russian.
And I know Chinese. I know CC. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I hope to see you soon.
Yeah, me too. See you soon.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
So thank you for your gifts, and let's conclude this part. I believe that we have all understand each other's culture more deeply through this conversation, and now it's high time for us, for friends in Russia and China, to give their speeches. After connecting to the friends in Russia, we are now here on this beautiful balcony. It is getting dark, but the weather is super nice. It feels good, but I won't take this stage for long. Now let's listen to the speeches addressed by our aspiring youth.
I moved from Russia to China with my family 16 years ago. When I arrived, I couldn't speak a word of Chinese. It was very difficult for me to adapt this new way of life, but soon this adversity was gone. In 2008, not so long after the Olympic Games in Beijing, I began to attend the Chinese primary school. This is how I started my journey of studying Chinese. Of course, it was not easy at first. I often found myself speaking Russian, trying to express myself to my Chinese classmates. But somehow we understood each other and became good friends. Now, after studying Chinese for more than 13 years, when I speak, many people think I sound Chinese and that I even have a Beijing accent. The Chinese have a saying, 入乡随俗. That means, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Many people are surprised to hear how long I have lived in Beijing. In fact, China became my home. What impresses me the most about China is its traditional culture and long history. I've learned how to write Chinese calligraphy, martial arts, and even something about traditional Chinese medicine. So I've truly experienced Chinese life. I've also seen how China changed over 16 years, and I've changed with it. When I first came here, there weren't so many foreigners, nor many skyscrapers. But that has completely changed. China has become the second largest economy and has managed to lift about 750 million people from poverty. No other country has ever achieved such results. I'm truly excited to witness this rapid change, something that I think the world began to get a glimpse of during those Olympic Games in 2008. Over the years, I've witnessed China host major international meetings such as the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Forum, the G20 Summit, and the Belt and Road Forum. This year, China and Russia extended the Sino-Russian Treaty of Friendship they committed 20 years ago. Relationships between the two countries are mature, stable, and strong, and can withstand this test of international adversities. The two countries firmly support each other on issues concerning their core interests. In 2019, China and Russia upgraded their relations, and Tsinghua University awarded President Vladimir Putin an honorary degree. That year, the university also set up a Russian institute on its campus. That greatly motivated me to study international relations at Tsinghua. Since then, I've taken part in many diplomatic events in China, such as those of Shanghai Cooperation Organization and the Russian Embassy in Beijing. I've also become a member of the Belt and Road Initiative Association at Tsinghua. So when I graduate, I will have a great deal of experience and knowledge, and I will be able to draw in making a contribution to the continuing good friendship between our two countries. On July 11th, when the 20th anniversary of the Sino-Russian Friendship Treaty was celebrated, China's Foreign Minister and State Councilor Wang Yi said, "Russia and China are not allied countries, but our friendship is even better than an alliance." As a Russian, his words greatly impressed me, and I have personally experienced this friendship. The Sino-Russian relation is now better than it has ever been, and I feel its warmth in my own life. For example, when Chinese express their friendship towards me and say we are good neighbors. In fact, sometimes I get older people speaking Russian to me and who obviously enjoy it. All of this fuels my motivation to learn more about Sino-Russian relations and are working together even more closely. I believe that Russia and China will go further and further with one another, and together will play a key role as the world faces the great challenges of our times, such as the pandemic and climate change. I know that together we have so much to contribute. Let us all together enjoy this wonderful friendship and its fruits. Thank you.
My first 2 years of studying Russian were difficult for me. I could feel that my teachers were doing their utmost to convey their passion for the language and the culture behind it to me. Yet, for a long time I felt distant from it. I thought that perhaps it was the difficult grammar that was standing in the way, or maybe it was the tons of words I had to memorize every day, or maybe it was something else. The turning point came in the summer of 2019 when I visited Russia for the first time. The first inspiring moment was in a museum when I got chatting to an old Russian man. After telling me something about the exhibition, he asked me to recite a poem in Chinese, and I did. As I was reciting the traditional Chinese poem 水调歌头, I could see his eyes glistening. I was shocked because I knew that he couldn't understand a single word of Chinese. So once I was finished, I explained the meaning of the poem to him. And to my surprise, he said, "Do you know that we have this poem of similar meanings in Russian?" And then he started to recite in Russian. As I listened to him recite the poem, I sensed that even though we could not fully understand one another, he obviously loved and took pride in his own culture. I truly believed that he felt the same way for me when I was reciting in my language. That was when I suddenly felt a lot closer to this language I'm studying. I was also lucky to meet lots of Russians of my age during my visit, who then became my friends, one of whom was Christina from my host family. I remember one day when we were walking in the Victory Park and her asking me what I knew about the Russia's Victory Day. And I answered her with the first thing that came into my mind. That is, the famous tradition of the Immortal Regiment March that is inextricably connected to the Victory Day. I said, I love their tradition of gathering all the descendants of the veterans and giving them the honor to march across the square, holding the pictures of their ancestors. My great-grandfather fought in the war against Japanese aggression, and even though it was a pity that he didn't make it to the Veterans March in September the 3rd, 2015, I believe that he deserved the opportunity to witness this future he'd fought for every year. And to my surprise, Christina smiled and proudly told me that she was once one of the children who had taken part in the march, with a portrait of her ancestors. As she recounted her story about the march, a trance-like image started to appear in my mind. I could see two young men who look unlike each other in different uniforms, shouting in different languages, yet waving side by side through the same hail of bullets and fire, running toward the same direction and finally disappearing together along the road of history, leaving me and Christina in the Victory Park, telling each other our stories about our own loved ones. And from the lights of the internal flame, two old men watching us with a smile and gently waving us goodbye. After years of studying Russian with a feeling of uncertainty, I finally had my bonding moment. I've learned a lot about World War II since when I was very young, and I was taught in schools about the relationship between China and Russia, yet never had I felt such strong a bond with another country until this very moment that I talked to a young Russian about our own different yet similar histories. I realized that even though we, as independent individuals, have our own nationalities and our own different cultural backgrounds, our origin, however, have long been woven together by history. Christina and her sister are both learning Chinese, and we have continued to chat with one another once or twice a week. We keep on discovering that we have our own unique understandings of things, but at the same time, are amazed to find out how much we have in common. I have always believed that China-Russia friendship is based on something more than just the same interest. And after years of studying Russian language and culture, I had finally worked out what the true bond between our two countries is. It is the mutual understanding based on cultural resonance and the shared historical experiences. Whenever I recall those days I spent with Christina and her family, the day in the Victory Park comes to my mind. For it was then that we, as two representatives of the younger generations of our two countries, bonded. It was then, too, that I realized that the friendship between China and Russia is not just something about the present and the past, but that it is something that will long endure into the future. Thank you.
Food is a big part of every culture, and without trying the national dishes, you can't say that you've got to know the country. So when I came to China for the first time, traditional food seemed to me very strange, as it was so unlike what I'm used here in Russia. And one day, my Chinese friend took me and a couple of other international students to a restaurant to try Chinese dumplings. Unlike Russian dumplings, which we usually eat only with meat, in China a wide variety of fillings are added to dumplings. So we ordered dumplings with different flavors to try them all. And my Chinese friend told us that some would be with fish and shrimps, which would be totally okay because I love shrimps. So they brought us a dish and we started tasting. What can I say? It was delicious, curious, and exotic. But then we came across a fish-flavored dumpling and wanted to know what kind of fish it was because it tasted rather unusual. The waiter told us there was a tripang inside the dumplings. Well, if you don't know what tripang is, basically it's a sea cucumber. Nothing scary, but You should have seen the faces of everyone in the table, including my Chinese friend, when we saw the picture of treepank on the internet. Immediately after the tasting, we went to the pastry shop to eat a delicious cheesecake with a rose, cheerfully recalling the story of treepank. You may ask, what's the point of this story? Well, firstly, as you see, food can cause a storm of emotions. And secondly, which is much more important, joint tasting of foreign dishes unites and some kind of special relationship is struck between you. I lived and studied in China for a month, and I was very lucky that I managed to get a Chinese food. I managed to get Chinese who treated us to various traditional dishes and goodies. And now being back to St. Petersburg, when I went to return to China, I go to Chinese restaurants and eat traditional dishes to remember my trip to China, remember my happy moments when we all communicated and shared our intercultural experience. I wish there were more intercultural programs for Chinese and Russian students, for young people to build strong friendship and have such happy memories as I have. And returning to the food issue. Of course, it's not about food, but about the time we spend together tasting, chatting, learning. China is a truly marvelous country with interesting food and wonderful people, so I sincerely hope that the borders will open soon and we'll sit together at one big table enjoying our intercultural atmosphere. So I hope to see you here next year. Goodbye.
When I was little, my grandmother liked to tell me stories. She learned Russian at an early age. Even after so many years, she could still remember how happy she was to write letters to Russian pen pal Maria. It was expensive to send letters overseas, but they kept writing to one another for years. Whenever my grandmother told me about this, there was a spark of excitement in her eyes. I couldn't help wondering, what kind of language Russian was? Why, after so many years, did she keep telling these stories? With this great curiosity years later, I chose to study Russian at Shanghai International Studies University. As I began my first year of studies, I found out how extremely difficult the language was. There are numerous declensions, accent changes, grammar rules to practice, store in the memory and learn. So by now, that spark or sparks in my grandmother's eyes had really become a puzzle to me. As I struggled to learn the language, there was little light and certainly no sparks. On the contrary, I was trapped in total darkness, struggling in weekly tests and new lessons. One day I went to the library. Walking among the rows of shelves, suddenly I stumbled on a collection of Russian poetry. The thing that first caught my eye was Song of the Stormy Petrel by Maxim Gorky. I studied the Chinese version in high school, so I began to read line by line, surprised to find that I could understand most of it. Буря, скоро грянет буря. Это смелый буревестник города реет между моми над ревущим гневным морем. То кричит пророк победы, в стене грянет буря. I was overwhelmed by the dauntless petrel and the beauty of Russian, the language I'd been struggling with for a year. Reading those wonderful poems, I felt like musical notes swirling in my mouth, dripping off my lips, and ringing in my ears, with flames lighting up my sky. I had finally realized Russian is a language of poetry and literature. This special poetry collection had done what nothing in my studies had been able to do: break me free from my darkness and spark in me a passion for this difficult language. So I fell in love with Russian literature. I was fascinated by the magical world created by Bulgakov in Master and Margarita, amazed by the peaceful countryside portrayed by Turgenev in The Hunter Sketches, touched by the love tragedy Tolstoy describes in Anna Karenina, shocked by the complex of human nature Dostoevsky reviews in Crime and Punishment. I began to dream of one day being able to read the original texts and fully understanding them. I longed to go to Russia to set foot on the land in which these masterpieces were cultivated. I began to imagine one day walking on Tverskaya Street, taking a picture in Red Square, and embracing the great thoughts of Russian writers. In short, my passion for Russian literature became a spark in my eyes. Unfortunately, due to COVID-19, an exchange program that had been planned was cancelled, but that failed to dim that spark. Early in May, I was selected to give a speech on an online Chinese-Russian literature symposium organized by Moscow City University. I spoke of my ideas about Dostoevsky's The Brothers Karamazov. We conversed in both Russian and Chinese. Even thousands of kilometers apart, our love for literature had brought us together, the language we're learning acting as a bridge. Of course, I'm no longer the child in my grandmother's arms, but I think I now understood what those sparks in her eyes were and what they meant. Now I find my own. French writer Molière said, language is a gift given to humans by which they can express their ideas. When students of Moscow University spoke of Chinese stories, The Dream of Red Mansion and Tea House, I could sense they possessed a spark for Chinese culture, and that in speaking Russian in their eyes, I was not really a complete foreigner. We study Russian to step into their hearts. They learn Chinese to step into ours. Fortunately, we all found our sparks. Sparks that fill us with pride in being able to speak of the things we love and to be fully understood. Language can also be the foundation for common action. In 2009, the Year of Russian Language was held in Beijing, giving us the opportunity to luxuriate in marvelous Russian poems, paintings, songs, and ballet. With the launching of Belt and Road Initiative 8 years ago, China and Russia have been able to work more closely together than ever before. In 2019, Chinese language was included as a subject in Russia's college entrance examination, demonstrating the increasing importance of Mandarin and Chinese culture in the country. And this year marks the 20th anniversary of China-Russia Treaty of Good Neighborliness and Friendly Cooperation. It is from sparks that mighty flames grow. Our scattered sparks light up our passion for language and literature, strengthen our communication and collaboration, and illuminate the ever closer bond that China and Russia enjoy. Thank you.
这道梨花开遍了天涯，河上飘着柔软的轻纱，大桥上站在金桥的岸上，歌声好像明媚春光。Расцветали яблони и груши, поплыли туманы над рекой, выходила на берег Катюша, на высокий берег, на крутой. Катюша站在金桥的岸上，歌声好像明媚春光。
Hi, my name is Zhihan Xiang, and I'm gonna answer one of the questions. Well, my question choice is, what is the most popular esteemed holiday in China? Well, my answer is that holiday should be Chinese New Year. Well, during Chinese New Year, every Chinese person is gonna have some days off. They use it to take some rest from work, to take a trip, but most importantly, it's a time for a family reunion.
Hello everyone, I am Maxim Shkutin from Russia. In my opinion, now the relationship between China and Russia could be described by stable, unique, and mature. Maybe through that most of Russians are not afraid of the cold, but personally, I'm a little bit scared of cold.
大家好，我是杨金鹤。Fish is necessary for all Chinese families on the Chinese Lunar New Year. Although there are so many methods to cook so many kinds of fish, like braising, stewing, simmering, steaming, etc., with sweet, sour, hot, and tasty gathering.